Mr. Secretary, many thanks. Good to see you again. Today, President Biden said they hold the Taliban to their word. You've been quoted as saying you never trusted the Taliban. Is it a mistake for the United States to count on them for cooperation?
I believe it is. I think the Taliban is not to be trusted. The reality is that the Taliban has provided safe haven for terrorists in the past, and they will continue to provide a safe haven for terrorists. We've got almost 2,000 ISIS-K terrorists. Al-Qaeda is going to reestablish itself there.
Why do you say that?
Terrorists. So we have a number of terrorists that we're going to have to confront in the future.
Why do you say Al-Qaeda will reestablish? Is there evidence of that, or is that just history as our guide?
Well, I saw a recent interview with a spokesman from the Taliban. When he was asked about bin Laden's role in 9/11, he said, I saw no evidence that bin Laden was involved in 9/11. So if the Taliban is defending bin Laden in 9/11, then you know they're going to continue to provide a safe haven for Al-Qaeda as well.
2 weeks ago, Mr. Secretary, you told John King on CNN that this is a Bay of Pigs moment for the president. You said he needed to admit the mistakes that were made. What are the likely consequences given that he did not do so?
Well, you know, I understand his defense of his decision, and the reality is I think most Americans support his decision. I think the real question has always been with the execution of that decision and the chaos that developed in the evacuation process. I think that ultimately the key is whether or not what has happened here is going to define his foreign policy. It doesn't have to. But in order for that not to be the case, he's going to have to evacuate those that are still remaining in Afghanistan, particularly the Americans, but also the Afghans who fought with us. He's going to have to make clear that we're going to continue to go after terrorists there one way or the other to protect our country. He's going to have to push the Taliban to recognize his human rights in Afghanistan. And ultimately, he's going to have to say that he's learned the lessons from this experience in Afghanistan and the mistakes that have been made.
In that same interview 2 Mondays ago, you said to CNN that the U.S. credibility is in question. Since then, the president promised all Afghan helpers would be evacuated before our military evacuated. That didn't happen. What's your assessment of our credibility tonight?
I think people are going to continue to question our credibility until we are successful at getting all of the Americans who want to come back and be evacuated out of Afghanistan. And I think we have to show that we're serious about getting those Afghans who fought alongside of us out of Afghanistan as well. Look, this is the end of a chapter in the war on terrorism, but it isn't the end of the war on terrorism. As the president said, we are going to have to confront terrorists, not just in the Middle East, not just in Africa, but in Afghanistan as well. So this war is going to continue.